pet lovers. I am Liana with Wet Noses Pet Sitting, and today we're going to talk about chicken visits. So, as you can see, we do watch chickens in addition to dogs and cats. That's actually a very common question that I answer for people is, what are our most common animals that we watch? It's of course dogs and cats, and after that, our third most common is actually chickens. And the reason is that in Colorado, a lot of people can have chickens in their backyard these days, so they have them in addition to their other pets, or sometimes they have them alone. I'm gonna let this girl go. She would like to go get some bugs. There you go. That's actually one of my chickens. So when we do chicken visits, some of the most important things are how many visits that you need a day. And for this, you really have to consider what care your chickens normally get. So for some people, the routine is let out in the morning, let out in the evening, or put back in the evening. For some people, they just need to be checked on once a day. So consider what your visits normally look like and what your interactions with your chickens normally look like, and that will determine what we do. The additional note is that it's really important, if your chickens are being locked in at the end of the day, that we schedule those visits for a time when your chickens are going to be going into their coop on their own, or that you have a surefire way for the sitter to catch them and lure them into the coop. We have had a lot of issues where we have been at houses and the chickens do not want to go in early and the sitter was scheduled too early for their visits. So we really like to try to get those times lined up. When your sitter comes to watch your chickens, they're going to really ask about your routine and try to figure out exactly what your details are, what your chickens are used to and what they need, as well as what their normal behavior is. Because as we all know, chickens can have a lot of different health problems that crop up out of nowhere and they can be a surprise. And so we'd like for the sitters to know exactly what the routine for your normal chickens are so that they can spot any issues that might be arising. If you're traveling in the summer or in the winter, then it's also really important to note what the sitter is going to be doing if there are any hot or cold issues. So in the hot summers here in Colorado, sometimes we get above 100-degree weather, and we need to make sure that any special accommodations that you would make for chickens, whether it being giving ice cubes in the middle of the day, feeding something like watermelon, anything along those lines that the sitter can also do and knows what to do in case we can't reach you. In the winter, same thing. So if there are temperatures that it's going to be too cold for your chickens to be outside, do they need to be continuously locked in their coop? Do they need to be given any extra foods or supplements or anything to help with those really cold weather snaps that we sometimes get? If you currently have or are getting really young chicks, we generally recommend that you actually do not leave those with a pet sitter unless absolutely necessary. The young chicks are really hard to care for. Sometimes they need a lot of extra time and attention. So if you do have us watch them, then we need to have a lot of visits and long visits scheduled throughout the day to make sure that everything is going smoothly, because young chicks really need to be checked on many, many times per day in order to make sure that everything is going okay. But in general, we prefer that we wait until your chickens are a little bit older before we're watching them, and definitely not in those young areas in the first few weeks old. So something older than that. So if you have chickens or any other outside pets, definitely let us know. We are happy to watch them. Our sitters definitely learn a little bit about chickens, and a fair number of them watch chickens regularly at this point. So we are happy to watch them, and we try to make sure that your sitters know exactly what they're doing with your chickens and that they have a lot of experience. So definitely reach out to us, and we are happy to help with that and get a good routine down for when you are out of town. Thanks for watching, and definitely subscribe or follow us wherever you're watching this video. We publish regularly so you can keep an eye out on what we've got going on. Thanks all.